I've talked a lot on this channel about music that I love. I've talked a lot about music that I hate, and that was just my every Radiohead song ranked video. But I recently ran out of space on my vinyl record shelf here, so I thought what better time than now to expose my vinyl record collection. I've talked a big game about loving Radiohead, loving Arctic Monkeys, loving the Smiths, but maybe this is just full of Ed Sheeran, Lewis Capaldi, Chico, who knows, I could be a fraud. To be fair, I am a bit of a fraud, but not for those reasons. Just to tease you with what to expect here, future me has kindly run the numbers. I've got this many records. Here's the breakdown by decade. A lot of 2010 stuff, I imagine. I know, I need to get more of the classics. Here's a breakdown by nationality, why not? If you've seen any of my videos, you might be expecting 5 Radiohead albums, 5 Smiths albums, 5 Killers albums, 5 Arctic Monkeys albums. But I think vinyl is too expensive for that, so I've spread the love and I've tried to get an album from every artist that I love. So just know, if there's any artist who I've got more than one album by, I love them very, 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 very much. All my other videos have been quite scripted. I've had quite a clear idea of what I was gonna say. This one, I'm just gonna improv, yes and. It's like jazz, this video. So let's just see what happens. It could end up being a complete mess that descends into cheap innuendo really quickly. So, you know, nothing like any of my other videos. And I'll go through alphabetically because I was not raised in a barn. And all these albums have my seal of approval. You should go listen to all of them. All these artists have my seal of approval. You should go listen to all of them. Except maybe this first one. I'm getting the most cringe album that I own out of the way early, and it's A Brief Inquiry into Online Relationships by the 1975. If there's one person I hate more than I hate myself, it's Matty Healy. I hate that guy. So it really pains me to admit how much I love this album. I don't like it enough that I'd let Matty Healy suck my thumb, but if he wanted to suck something else, then that's fine. Or maybe we could rub our thumbs together and make some weird moaning noises. Pretty terrible album name. Pretty terrible album cover, but just look at this channel. Things with terrible names and that look terrible can be good. When this came out, I was like 20, 21, early 20s. But even then I thought, man, I'm too old to be listening to the 1975 as much as I am at the moment. My parents would be so disappointed to know that in my 20s I was listening to the 1975. They'd been much less ashamed of me if I was doing drugs. But luckily, the album that followed this was pretty terrible, so my 1975 era came to an abrupt end. And next up, I've got Alex Turner's only solo release, the Submarine soundtrack. Not seen the film in ages, I think I've only seen it once. Good film, from what I remember. Great soundtrack, and here it is. It's basically just Alex Turner and his guitar. Occasionally you get a little piano come in. It's got Stuck on the Puzzle, which is probably Alex Turner's best song that he's been involved with. It's got the superior version of Piledriver Waltz. I think in some parallel universe, Alex Turner could be the UK's Sufjan Stevens, and this is like his Michigan. Well, I don't know what the UK equivalent of Michigan would be, but Sufjan Stevens is from Michigan, so I guess this would be Yorkshire. One out from Chop. Next up, I've got the self-titled debut from Alvvays. Actually wearing an Alvvays t-shirt at the moment, so I'm matching. Alvvays, they're a bit like Vampire Weekend in the sense that their third album is like clearly the best one. But there's something about their first album that's self-titled, it's got an orangey cover, it just makes you feel so warm and fuzzy. Doesn't really sound like Vampire Weekend, it sounds more like the poppier singles by the Smiths, like Ask. Ask would fit in well on this album. It's an album with no skips. I mean, look at that. Which one of them would you skip? If you're gonna skip one, it'd probably be Red Planet, but it's right at the end, so why bother skipping it? Just a great album by a great band. Man, I wish Canada was a real place. Next up, also from Canada, we have The Suburbs by Arcade Fire. I remember back in 2010 or 2011, there's one of them. I remember seeing on the news that some random indie band had won the Grammy for Best Album. I thought, ooh, I like indie. And if it's won the Grammy, we all know that the Grammys are the arbiter of what's good, so it must be great. So I went straight on iTunes and they had a section on the store of every album that had been nominated for a Grammy, and they were all half price. So I paid like $4.99, just downloaded the Suburbs, had never heard a single song off it, never heard a single Arcade Fire song, had no idea about them. I was never impulsive up to that point, and I haven't been impulsive after that point. I don't know what came over me that day, but whatever it was, I'm glad it did. Definitely the best Arcade Fire album. And I went back through their whole discography after getting into this. I have to say, Funeral, is it the most overrated album of all time? It's fine. It's like a 6.5 or a 7 out of 10. It's not an all-time classic. This is. And Win Butler, bit of a dodgy geezer, so I'm not blasting Arcade Fire that much these days. But if I was to, it would be listening to this. And hey, let my story show you that sometimes you just need to take a chance on random albums. If 12-year-old me was brave enough to do it, then so can you. Next up, we've got the very first record that I purchased, and that is Tranquility Base Hotel and Casino by Arctic Monkeys. Come on. If you've seen any of my videos, you know it's not a shock that this is what I've got from the Arctic Monkeys. It's also on lovely, clear, well, when I got it on their website, it said clear, but I think it's more of a silvery clear. It's meant to look like the moon, I bet. You got a nice picture of Alex there on the gatefold. You got this nice booklet with all the lyrics. It's their best album, and now it's been a few years. I actually don't think it's that much of a departure from AM, especially if you were blasting Last Shadow Puppets in the interim period between AM and this. It's not one giant leap, but it is a bit of a small step. Get it? The moon? Hey. Next up, we have another Arctic Monkeys album. Not a studio album though, live from the Royal Albert Hall. It's basically a greatest hits album. I mean, Brian Storm, Crying Lightning, Do I Wanna Know, Why Johnny Come When You're High, 505, Cornerstone, the best version of Cornerstone that I've heard. Definitely my default version of Cornerstone is the version on this. Doesn't sound amazing over streaming. The actual vinyl copy does sound all right though. I'm pretty sure this is also on clear vinyl. Ooh, wow. And this one actually came with a poster as well, which is down here. But I haven't rehung on my walls since I had them painted. Next up, this is probably the second record that I ever bought. When I first started getting vinyl, I thought, well, obviously I need a Beatles album, even though I wasn't that familiar with the Beatles back then. Not the deep cuts, not the albums. I knew like the greatest hits. So I basically went into HMV, went to the Beatles section. They only had about 3 albums in, which is a bit odd. I hadn't heard any of them all the way through, so I just looked at the track listing and picked up the one that I recognised the most songs off, and that was their first one, Please Please Me. I don't know how the ladies of the 60s went wild for them. They're not stunners, are they? I'm not having a go, I'm not saying that I am either, but come on. It's got the cool text on the back, that's a nice touch. It's got a lot of their classics. I saw her standing there, Please Please Me, Ask Me Why, Love Me Do, Twist and Shout. So it's not a bad one to have. Obviously now if I was going to get one, I'd probably say Sgt. Pepper's is my favourite album. But yeah, the Beatles, good band. I think, check them out if you've never heard of them. The next album is Inside by Bo Burnham. Proof that people on YouTube can do great things, so there's hope for me yet. If you haven't seen Inside, I think it's on Netflix. Perfectly captures how the COVID lockdowns felt. I'm sure they'll make kids in the future watch that in history class, if schools still exist in the future. Looking at the track listing, it starts off pure comedy, and then it ends up pure comedy by Father John Misty. He even looks a bit like Father John Misty. Hey, look at him. Speaking of Bo Burnham, next up is the Boygenius EP by Boygenius. Boygenius, heroes of the channel actually, lest we forget. I haven't managed to get anyone to sponsor that section yet, but you know, if anyone's interested, let me know. Maybe Boygenius could sponsor it. It's an EP, there's only 6 songs on here, but it's 6 bangers. I mean, Bite the Hand, banger. Me and My Dog, banger. Phoebe Bridges' best song. I always forget that I did an every Phoebe Bridges song ranked video. If she ever puts out a new album, I will update that. Souvenir, banger. Stay Down, banger. Salt in the Wound, banger. Ketchum, Idaho, banger. 6 songs, 6 bangers. The record they put out, the record, also has 6 bangers. It also has another 6-ish songs that aren't bangers. They're all alright, but 6 bangers. They've got 6 bangers in them at all times. 2 bangers each per release. Next is another album where every single song is a banger, and that's I'm Wide Awake, It's Morning by Bright Eyes. Just a great folk rock album about being depressed. I've got a lot of those. I've heard this album called emo folk before, but I think only the last song on there is emo folk. The rest is just folk rock, indie folk, whatever you want to call it. It took me a while to get used to Conor Oberst singing. He always sounds a bit hungover or a bit drunk, which maybe he is. But I think that adds to the charm. As close to a perfect album as you can get, I think. Before I reveal what my next album is, in my universally beloved 10 worst Radiohead songs video, I got a lot of hate from Radiohead fans, which was to be expected, but I also got a lot of hate from Coldplay fans. Less than like 2 seconds of that video involved Coldplay. So I'm hoping that by revealing that I own A Rush of Blood to the Head by Coldplay on vinyl, Coldplay fans will leave me alone. I like Coldplay. They've gone from being a good rock band to being a good pop band, and I don't really like their pop music, so it's fine. And the pop stuff is still of a decent quality that it doesn't make me ashamed to own their old stuff. Unlike Muse, where I would love a copy of Origin of Symmetry, but their new stuff is just so bad, I'm too embarrassed in case anyone ever sees it. I think it's another No Skips album. Politic, their best song. When I listen to that, and the whole album to be fair, there is a rush of blood, but not to my head, to somewhere else. In My Place, what a great song. God Put a Smile Upon Your Face, great song. The Scientist, classic. Clocks, all-time classic. Daylight, if I was gonna skip one, it would be Daylight. Green Eyes, not bad, not bad. Warning Sign, why wasn't that a massive hit? A Whisper, maybe I would skip that one as well. A Rush of Blood to the Head, nice. Amsterdam, great closer. And it won Best Album at the 2002 Q Awards. I used to subscribe to Q magazine, I missed that. Next is Only the Lonely by Colony House. Bit of a random one, but when I first got Spotify in like 2012, 2013, I went on a playlist called Feel Good Indie Songs, Upbeat Indie Songs, something like that. Press play. The first thing that started playing was Silhouettes by Colony House. Great song, and I've loved them ever since. Silhouettes was on their first album, this is their second album, which is a big step up. Two of my favourite bands back then were The Vaccines and The Killers, and Colony House sound like the midpoint of those two bands. A side A on this is up there with side A on anything. Cannot Do This Alone, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, yep. Lonely, yep. You and I, yep. Where Your Father's Been, skip. You Know It, yeah. It's on nice golden vinyl. I re-listened to this recently actually, and I have to say, first, the vinyl sounds great. Second, there are a lot more riffs than I remember on this. Like Lonely, it gets a bit heavy there. Next is one of the all-time greats. It's Ziggy Stardust by David Bowie. You hear a lot of albums be described as classics, as 10 out of 10s, all-time greats. A lot of the time, I don't think they live up to the hype. This one lives up to the hype and exceeds it. The definition of classic rock, it's just genius. If you're watching this video and you've never listened to this album, sort your life out. Listen to it right now. It's got 5 years on it, one of the best album openers ever. That's a 10 out of 10. Every song after that is also a 10 out of 10. Next up, we have Ziggy Stardust by David Bowie, the motion picture soundtrack. It's a live album from the Ziggy Stardust era. It's got most of Ziggy Stardust on it. It's a bit of a greatest hits of early 70s Bowie. The reason I've got this is one Christmas or one birthday, I asked my mum for Ziggy Stardust by David Bowie. She went into a shop and said, oh yeah, have you got any copies of Ziggy Stardust by David Bowie? And whoever was working there said, oh yeah, we've got it right here. So that's a bit sneaky from them. They knew what they were doing there. Bit annoying from them, but also a bit annoying from my mum because she grew up in the 70s and 80s, so she definitely knew what I meant by Ziggy Stardust by David Bowie. But I forgive her because this is a good live album. Next, we've got the second album by one of my favourite bands ever, Everything Everything. This is Ark. I love Everything Everything. I really love their album, Get to Heaven. I think that is a 10 out of 10, probably my second or third favourite album ever. But until recently, it's been absolutely impossible to get hold of that album, so I got my second favourite album of theirs at the time, which was Ark. It's got a nice big lyrics booklet in there with some graph paper if you're doing your GCSE maths or something. It's got some of their best songs on there. Cough Cough, Kemosabe, Duet, their most underrated song probably. It's like a more polished version of their first album, but doesn't quite hit the heights of the next album, Get to Heaven. And if I was gonna get my second favourite album of theirs now, that would be Raw Day to Feel, so I need to get a copy of that. And my third favourite now is probably Man Alive as well. It's probably my fourth favourite Everything Everything album now. I always wanted a copy of Get to Heaven by Everything Everything on vinyl, but it was impossible to get hold of one. There were second-hand ones selling for like 200 quid. I was close to getting it, but luckily for the 10th anniversary last year, they reissued it and I got a copy. Come on, just look at it. It's like a deluxe edition. The actual album is on very eye-catching yellow vinyl. And then the B-sides and demos from this era are all in this very nice orange-coloured vinyl. I think this is one of the best albums ever. Everything Everything, I can't believe, on Spotify they have about 300,000 monthly listeners, which makes them the least listened to artist I'm going to talk about in this video, which is a crime. I can't believe that. If you do one thing after this video, you'll probably press the dislike button. But after that, listen to Get to Heaven by Everything Everything if you haven't. It sounds like Kid A mixed with Britney Spears. It's just perfect. And to coincide with this coming out, the 10-year anniversary, they did a tour. I went to the tour, great show, but I've got two beefs with them after the show. One, if you do an album anniversary show, here's my idea of that. You play the album in full, you go off for a few minutes, have a tea, have a wee, do whatever you do, shoot up. Then you come back out, you do 6 to 10 of your greatest hits. I'm thinking of Muse at Reading Festival 2011. When I saw Everything Everything, they played the album in full, but they peppered in all the B-sides within the album, then went off for a couple of minutes, came back and played one song, which is fine because it was a great show, but I'm just saying, if you're in a band that has an anniversary show coming up, that's not what I want. And my other beef is with the t-shirt I bought that night. My current Alvvays t-shirt that I'm wearing at the moment fits me very well. This is size medium. The Everything Everything t-shirt that I bought, you know, it got all the tour dates on the back. Size small, look how big it is. I feel like a little kid wearing one of my dad's t-shirts. It's massive, size small. It's like a dress, it's down to my knees. So Everything Everything, I do love you, but please fire your merch guy. Next, we're into the F section. I've got a lot of Fs here, starting with my favourite artist ever, of all time ever. More than Radiohead, more than Arctic Monkeys, more than the Smiths, more than The Killers, more than Phoebe Bridgers, more than anyone. More than Ed Sheeran. It's Father John Misty, and here's his debut album, Fear Fun. This is definitely his funniest album. It's very close to being comedy rock at times. It's like this close to being a Weird Al Yankovic album. I just love it. Within about 9 seconds of listening to Fun Times in Babylon, the opening song, I knew that Father John Misty was the one for me. There's a great song on here called I'm Writing a Novel, and the album comes with this massive fold out, which has got said novel on it. I mean, and then there's another one which has more of the novel on it. Then on the other side has the lyrics. That's what I like. When vinyl is like 30 quid, at least give me a poster. It also came with a sticker actually, I don't know if you can see it, but it's right there. It says Father John Misty, Fear Fun. And this is my third favourite, maybe second favourite Father John Misty album. My first favourite is I Love You, Honeybear. And it's not just my favourite Father John Misty album, it's my favourite album ever, full stop. Every single song is a perfect 10 out of 10. Forget that True Affection exists. It's not a bad song, it's a good song. It's just a bit weird having a synth pop song in the middle of a load of indie folk songs. I love this album more than I love anything. I want to have a child so I can tell them that I love this more than I love them. That's the only reason. Comes with another massive poster. One side, you've got the lyrics, that's upside down. The other side, you've got a lot of pictures of Father John Misty and his wife with not a lot of clothes on, so that's good. It also comes with these exercises for listening. If you like Father John Misty's humour, then you'll love this. So just even if you don't like Father John Misty, you'll love this. Listen to Get to Heaven, then listen to this. You'll be very happy. Next, I've got my least favourite Father John Misty album, Chloe in the Next 20th Century. Why have I got this if it's my least favourite? Well, it was part of the entry to see Father John Misty play at Rough Trade East. He did a little show, just him and some geezer on keyboard. But signed by the man himself. Wee. That more than makes up for the fact that the music on this is probably the weakest of his career, and that for some reason is way taller than every other album in existence. It's not terrible. There are 3 or 4 good songs on here. The rest is just a bit boring. It's not bad. It's another COVID album. We all got a bit weird during COVID. I made a load of bread. Father John Misty made some jazz album. We all had our moments. Next, another one of my favourites. It's When the Pawn by Fiona Apple. If she asked me, I would go to war for Fiona Apple. So just say the word Fiona and give me the location. I'll be there. I think her best album is probably Fetch the Bolt Cutters, but I think this is a close second, and it's also her catchiest. It's like if The Bends was at the quality of In Rainbows. Every single song will get stuck in your head from this. The vinyl sounds great. Every single song sounds like you're getting punched in the face by the drums and the piano. It's amazing. It's not the original pressing, it's some repressing from a couple years ago. I just randomly got an email from someone saying, oh yeah, Fiona Apple's reissuing all of her albums on vinyl, but buy it now. I've never clicked a link faster in my life. So if you're a scammer and you want to target me, just put something about Fiona Apple in there and I will click. If I had one beef with this, in the email, it did say that there was an updated cover and that it had been chosen by Fiona herself. It had this in the email, but I thought this was just a placeholder. But no, this is the final album cover. Well, that's just proof that you shouldn't judge an album by its cover. Next, we have Shore by Fleet Foxes. Another one on clear vinyl, and this actually is clear vinyl. Got some nice drawings on side D there. I love Fleet Foxes, I love all their albums. I think my favourite is probably Helplessness Blues, but this one is just so upbeat, so life-affirming. It came out during COVID, so we all needed music like that at that time. I'm sure I saw an interview with Robin Pecknold where he said he nearly drowned while he was writing this, so he decided to make all the songs more upbeat, more life-affirming, and he succeeded. It opens with Sunblind, one of the most life-affirming songs ever. So good job to the ocean for nearly drowning Robin Pecknold. If you had drowned him, I wouldn't have been happy, but you just scared him a little bit. That was nicely done. If you were a teenager in the 2010s in the UK, like I was, then you will be very familiar with this next album, What Went Down by Foals. I feel like everyone I know, even people who don't like music that much or don't like rock music much, they all had a phase really liking Foals, especially this album. Probably because it had a song that was on FIFA. This album and the 2 albums before are peak Foals for me. They're full of great songs. I think this one is just a bit catchier than the rest. Got some of their best songs: What Went Down, Mountain at My Gates, Birch Tree, London Thunder. I love Lonely Hunter as well. If you want insight on what it was like being a teenager in the UK in the 2010s, just listen to this. If I had a beef with this album, it would be the gatefold image. I don't know how well that comes across here, but it's really pixelated. It looks terrible. Come on, Yanis, sort it out. And speaking of Yanis, I've seen Foals live a few times. Every single time, I've been shocked by how short Yanis is in real life. Like, he is tiny. Next is 3D Country by Geese. Their best album, probably their one great album. The more I've listened to Getting Killed, the more I think it's like a 6 out of 10, to be honest. There's yet another one on clear vinyl. This one actually is clear vinyl. I don't know why so many albums are on clear vinyl. Is that the cheapest option? And I know there's some controversy around Geese at the moment, that they use some marketing agency or something. I don't really know what that is. I'm not that bothered by it. This album's great. Sounds a bit bluesy, bit of a Rolling Stones, bit of a Flight B741 by King Gizzard vibe. If you saw the hype that Getting Killed was getting, but you didn't like it, then listen to this. This album deserves the hype. And if you hate Cameron Winter's voice, like a lot of people do, then listen to the title track of this, 3D Country, because for the most of it, he sings pretty normally. So there's something for everyone on this album. What have we got here? We've got the new sound by Geordie Greep, the green version. I got the green version because I heard that some of the songs were extended on here. A couple of them are, but it's probably not worth it because I think the yellow version is so much better looking. So get the yellow version, it's not worth it. And those Black Midi boys put out some great music since leaving Black Midi. I mean, my favourite album of this year is probably my new band Believe at the moment. And this album is like if you took all the more normal parts of Black Midi, sent them on holiday to Brazil for 6 months, and then had Ricky Martin work with them, then you get this. This is basically a Ricky Martin album with weirder lyrics. I mean, it is great. In my Best Songs of 2025 video, I included Holy Holy as a late entrant into my Best Songs of 2024 video. But now I've had more time with it, I think As If Waltz is the best song on here. I love this album. I'm excited to see what Mr. Greep does next. Next is Landmark by Hippo. And I have a confession, pretty much all the albums I've talked about today I've either got from the artist's website, from HMV or Rough Trade or my local record shop. This one I had to get on Amazon because I could not find it anywhere. Could not find any of their albums anywhere in the UK. I didn't even want this. I wanted the Warm Glow EP, which came out a little bit after this, but this is still good. Hippo, they sound like, imagine early Vampire Weekend, and that's this. Maybe with some of the world music stuff toned down a bit. But it's a great album, sounds great. If you like Vampire Weekend and you haven't listened to this, listen to this. It's basically like Vampire Weekend self-titled Part 2. Next, another big one now, it's Sam's Town by The Killers, come on. In making my Every Killers song rank worst to best video, I realised that my favourite album is probably Pressure Machine. Sam's Town's moved down to second, but I still love it. I miss the sleazy era of The Killers. As they've gone on, apart from a dip when Battleborn and Wonderful Wonderful came out, they've gotten better and better, but they've also lost their sleaze. This one still has quite a lot of sleaze on it, and has some of their best songs. I mean, When You Were Young, Read My Mind, to Read My Mind alone. Any album with Read My Mind on is automatically an 8 out of 10. If Ed Sheeran had Read My Mind on Divide, that would be an 8 out of 10 album. Great album, makes me wish that Las Vegas was a real place. And this next album makes me wish that Australia was a real place. It's Flight B741 by King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. The album that made me a King Gizzard fan. Every single song on here is a 10 out of 10, except the title track, just ignore that. Every other song is a 10 out of 10. It's full of catchy, upbeat, energetic bangers. And it's about pigs learning to fly a plane. I mean, what more do you need to know? If I had one complaint on this, a lot of the songs kind of blend into each other. Two of the songs that blend into each other the most is Hog Calling Contest into La Risk, and that's where the album cuts. That's where you have to flip the record. Why did they do it there? Why couldn't they just... So I don't know why they decided to have the midpoint of the record there, but whatever. It's still good. It doesn't matter where. It could have been anywhere, and I still like it. In this video, I've talked a lot about albums where every song is a 10 out of 10. And for some of those albums, I might have been a little bit hyperbolic, but for this one, I'm not. Everything you've come to expect by the Last Shadow Puppets, every single song is a 10 out of 10. Aviation, 10. Miracle Aligner, 11. Dracula Teeth, 10. Everything you come to expect, 10. Element of Surprise, 10. Bad Habits, 10. Sweet Dreams, Tennessee, another 11. Used to Be My Girl, 10. She Does the Woods, 10. Pattern, 10. The Dream Synopsis, 10. And this may be controversial, but this is Alex Turner's best album. Stuck on the Puzzle from Submarine, his best song. Everything you come to expect, his best album. It's like Tranquility Bass, but if it was a bit more catchy. If it had choruses, if it had verses even. If I had a complaint though, look at the spine. I don't know if this will focus, but look how small the text is there. I can barely see it. I don't know why they just didn't make it bigger. You can't really tell scale here, but look, that's one finger. It's like 1.5 fingers. So I don't know whose decision that was, but for the third Last Shadow Puppets album, please make the spine text a bit bigger. Next, I've got a bit of Mac DeMarco with 2. Mac DeMarco's another one a bit like Foals. I feel like everyone's been obsessed with him at some point. And I feel like a lot of musicians have been obsessed with him because in the late 2010s, there's a lot of artists that sound like a knockoff version of Mac DeMarco. Nothing beats the OG. Whenever I got this, like 2 years ago, this was my favourite album. 2 years ago. Now my favourite album is probably This Old Dog, but this is still great. And also you can see on here that his studio is called Jizz Jazz. Great name. You don't get that from Spotify, I don't think. Next is yet another COVID album. It's Punisher by Phoebe Bridgers. And this is from early lockdown, when everything was still a bit fun. It's like, ooh, this working from home thing's fun. But it sounds like a late lockdown album because it's pretty depressing. It's got a cool booklet that comes with it. It's got all the lyrics. It's got some artwork for every song. The end is here, indeed. It's just full of great songs. I mean, look at that track listing. What are you gonna skip? Halloween? Yeah, me too. But apart from that, yeah, I'm not skipping anything. I miss when it was Phoebe Bridgers being rammed down everyone's throat instead of Geese, because I think she deserved the hype a lot more. I love Stranger in the Alps too. Punisher is a step up. Whatever comes next, I'm sure that's gonna be great too. These next 2 albums, I'm gonna do at the same time. We've got OK Computer, OK Not OK, and we've got In Rainbows by Radiohead. I think OK Computer is their best album. I think In Rainbows is their best collection of songs. They're a bit like the Smiths. This is their Strange Ways, Here We Come. This is their Queen is Dead. The OK Not OK, it's a big boy, it's hefty, it's got 3 records in it. It's got all of OK Computer, it's got all of the OK Computer B-sides, it's got How I Made My Millions, which is another thing I've got a lot of hate from in my Radiohead video. A lot of people love that song apparently. I had it quite low in my rankings, so I don't know, sorry. It's OK Computer, what do I have to say? It's probably the best album ever made. Surely you already know that. In Rainbows, again, what do I need to say? It's In Rainbows. Its opening song was featured in Twilight, so that alone makes it an all-time classic. If I had one complaint, look at the back cover. 15 Step is in yellow, Body Snatchers in blue, Nude in orange, Weird Fishes in green. All I need is sort of an orangey, goldy colour. Faust Arp in red, Reckonite in blue, House of Cards in white, Jigsaw Fall in Its Place in white as well, Videotape in white as well. They run out of colours. They've got more they could have used. They could have used the purple, could have used the pink, could have used some sort of grey. And they've got other shades of green they could have used. Why are all 3 of the last ones in white? What happened there? What happened? Was the guy who did the back cover, he was halfway through doing all the font colours for all the songs, and he got to here, he had a pizza arrive or something, and he forgot to finish the rest. He ran out of time. Okay, next album. Similarly to the Beatles, when I first started getting records, I thought, well, I need a Rolling Stones album. Luckily, I actually liked the Rolling Stones a lot more than I liked the Beatles. I was a lot more familiar with their discography, so I had no problem picking up Sticky Fingers. Not the original version, sadly, with the zip, but you can still see a bit of knob. It also opens from the top, which is weird. I don't know if that's a thing for records or if it was back in the day, but it's the only album I've got that doesn't open from the side. I also remember when the debut Harry Styles solo album was coming out, people were saying, oh yeah, Harry Styles looks just like a young Mick Jagger. I couldn't see it. Then I got this album, picture of Mick Jagger there. I mean, that is Harry Styles, it's uncanny. It's also one of the best sounding records that I've got. I mean, when I first played this, I thought, okay, this is why people love vinyl. I don't know what year this version of it came out, but whatever it is, it's good. I actually got into this album because of Alex Turner. There's some interview he did around the time of Tranquility Base, where he listed like 10 songs that he'd been listening to a lot recently. One of them was Moonlight Mile. I listened to that, I thought, oh, that's bloody good. Listened to the album, thought, oh, that's bloody good. And then I went out and bought it. Great story. Next, I've already mentioned The Queen is Dead and Strange Ways Here We Come by the Smiths. I only have one of those, sadly, and it's The Queen is Dead. Even though I think Strange Ways is their best album, Queen is Dead has the best songs. I mean, Queen is Dead, Cemetery Gates, Big Master Ice Again, Boy with the Thorn is Aside. There's a Light That Never Goes Out, their best song, come on. It's just a classic. Anytime I listen to a Smiths album, I love it more than I did the time before. I mean, the amount of pictures I've seen of geezers on their Instagram, they're outside the Salford Lads Club. That's how I know you're a cool guy if you've got that. I don't have that, I need that. Next, Snail Mail, Valentine, her second album. I love Snail Mail. I love her first album. I love her second album. The third album that just came out is still growing on me. I'm sure I'll come to love it in time. Her first album is kind of a bit more jammy than this one. This is more studio focused, more produced. The first one's a bit more like people in their garage having a jam session. So a lot of the songs run 5-6 minutes. This is all like 2-3 minute tight short bangers. It's another one on gold vinyl. A lot of gold vinyl I've got, a lot of clear vinyl. Still got another gold album to come. Great album. Snail Mail, great artist. Next, I think this album cover is illegal in America. So if you're American, shut your eyes. Is This It by The Strokes, the Arse edition. If you think this artwork is a bit revealing, look at the outtake photos. It's literally, she's at every other angle. You can see everything. Imagine if they just chose the photo that was just her minge. Like, that's an album I want. It's a classic album. I mean, look at that track listing. Does it get much better than that? I don't think so. If I had a complaint about this, it's literally the cardboard sleeve and the record. Nothing else, no lyrics. And if Julian Casablancas is singing on an album, you need the lyrics because I cannot understand a single word he says. If you wanted to get this new now, it'd be 28 quid. 28 quid, that is outrageous for just a bit of cardboard and the record. But still, I love the Strokes. Next, I've got St. Vincent, Daddy's Home. I love St. Vincent. I love most of her albums. I love pretty much all her albums, to be fair. This is maybe my second or third favourite. This is probably my third favourite album. My favourite is her self-titled, but that is my White Whale. It's another one that's just impossible to find in the UK. Although, when I knew I was going to make this video, I did Google. I thought every few months I Google St. Vincent's self-titled album on vinyl. maybe this time it'll work. And the top link was to St. Vincent's actual store. There was a reissue of it on pink vinyl. So I ordered that. Hasn't arrived yet, and that was a few days ago, so I don't know when that's coming. Another way, if you're a scammer and you want to scam me, send me an email saying you've got a copy of St. Vincent's self-titled on vinyl, and I'll buy it. Hey guys, it's me from the future. Just want to announce that it was not a scam. And now I'm the proud owner of St. Vincent's self-titled album. And it's on bright pink vinyl, look at that. Matches my underwear. Anyway, I got this because I couldn't get the self-titled and I couldn't get Strange Mercy, so third favourite, Daddy's Home. It's on gold vinyl, again. Produced by Jack Antonoff, who I find to be a pretty annoying guy, but he's made some great albums. Daddy's Home, NFR, I mean, those two mostly. In general, I prefer St. Vincent's more rocky stuff. This is a bit like a dirtier version of Young Americans, but I love Young Americans, so I love Daddy's Home. Next is another album that I love more than life itself. It's Illinois by Sufjan Stevens, The King. This album's just so good. If I could live inside an album, I'd live inside this one. It's got everything you need. It's got songs about UFOs. It's got songs about serial killers. It's got songs about massive wasps chasing you. It's got songs about zombies. I'll tell my firstborn child that I love you, Honeybear, more than them. I'll tell my secondborn child that I love Illinois more than them. I love this album so much. Oh. The second and final instalment in Sufjan's 50 States project. A 2 out of 50 is not bad. I'm at 4 out of 72 of years covered in my What's the Best Year for Music series. So I've gotten beat a little bit, and I'm also continuing that series. So Sufjan, you're gonna have to pick it up soon. This album's just so good. You can't listen to this album and not feel so glad to be alive. It's magic. I can't describe it. It's Illinois. Next, it's another Sufjan album, and it's Carrie and Lowell, aka the Dead Mum album. There are plenty of heart-wrenching, sad moments on Illinois, but the most heart-wrenching moment on Illinois would probably be the happiest moment on this album. It's just pure pain, this album. I love it so much. I mean, every single song on here is perfection. Like, every single song is a 10 out of 10. Amazing. My favourite depressing song of all time is The Only Thing, which is on here. Just, should I tear my eyes out now? Everything I see returns to you somehow. Should I tear my heart out now? Everything I feel returns to you somehow. You've got to be in the right mood to listen to this, but if you are in the right mood, yeah. Next, one of the best albums of the 2010s. Modern Vampires of the City, come on, Vampire Weekend. It's pure genius. Ezra and Rostam firing at all cylinders here. And their first two albums I want to get on vinyl because I love them so much. They are also genius. Surprisingly complex. They feel a bit less complex because they're quite happy. This one is complex and it's also very serious. There's no smiling while this is on. Their first two albums about being at uni, going to parties. This album is about getting old and dying. I've talked about strong A-sides on this video, but listen to this. Obvious Bicycle, Unbelievers, Step, Diane Young, Don't Lie, Hannah Hunt. That's got to be top 3 side A's ever. If I ever do every Vampire Weekend song rank worst to best, Yahe is probably number 1, Step could be number 2, Diplomat's Son, number 3, which isn't on this album. And now, the final album, the final vinyl, is Titanic Rising by Weyes Blood. Another album that I love more than I love life itself. Don't know how to describe this. It's like space folk, if that was a genre. It's like the song Space Oddity by David Bowie. Imagine that. And that's what this album sounds like. It's just perfection. I wish that Weyes Blood put in a new album out like every day, just a new album. So that's my vinyl record shelf exposed. I'll do a quick bonus round of my CDs. So this is what I was listening to when I was like 13, 14. Got My Chemical Romance, Black Parade, missing the cover, but the Black Parade's in there. Danger Days, I Love You Honeybear, which came with the vinyl. Muse Absolution Tour DVD, Killers Live at Royal Albert Hall DVD. Got some Green Day, got some more Green Day, got some more Green Day. I've got the 2 Worst Killers albums. I had to get this, their worst album, to get a pre-sale code to see them live. Even more Green Day. Biffy Clyro, remember them? quality. This is a great album. This album still holds up. And then I've got pretty much all the Muse albums. I've got some Showbiz. I've got Hullabaloo. I've got Black Holes. Got The Resistance. I've even got Drones, which I hate. Got The Second Law, which I also hate quite a bit. Got Absolution. I've got The King, Origin of Symmetry. So that's my record collection exposed. Thanks for watching. I've been aiming for one video a month this year. I think I'm on track. I might even get another one out in May, so keep your eyes peeled for that. It'll probably be, was 1984 the best year for music ever? And after that, it'll probably be either every My Chemical Romance song ranked worst to best, or was 1978 the best year for music ever? And then after that, it will either be, was 1967 the best year for music ever? Or my remake of every Muse song ranked worst to best to incorporate their new album. And then it'll be, was 2021 the best year for music ever? And that should take us right up to Christmas. Oh yeah, and I've also seen that this channel has recently passed 400 subscribers, so thank you very much for that. Very surprised, very shocked. A lot of people have bad taste, clearly. But I've got something very special planned if and when this channel passes 500. I've got a great video to come that encapsulates the spirit of this channel. So if you want that video to come out sooner, then, I don't know, tell your friends. Well, thanks for watching. Cheers, bye.